right? Meow. So let's swap on over and hop into Deadwing. But that's right, I'm production handicapped and I don't have an intro, so the load screen, fantastic.
It's pretty though. It has like a planet in the background.
I've always thought this kind of looks like what I imagine a warp prism looks like if you're looking up from the ground underneath it.
What?
Like
The map or what?
Yeah, like the map, like a warp prism deployed, because you know it spreads out. It's like four
Oh,
legs or
it
whatever.
looks like a map.
Yo, I'm gonna find a picture. Freaking the VIU guys tweeted something like last week. I don't know. Okay, but we are back, so let's hop into this, ladies and gentlemen. Copa America Season 3 semifinals going on right now, and I have to adjust these score things because I did bad. Here, we'll put them here. I think this looks pretty. This looks very pretty, guys. I'm gonna leave them here. They look like sad tears raining out of the players. But spotting here in the bottom left corner of the map, playing for Solaris Gaming, it is the Blue Zerg player, Jonsnow.
Okay. Never rides as the Red Zerg. It is complexities Hendralisk.
Was there like an issue with you trying to remember like what color he was, or what was that?
No, I was trying to find your freaking like number on the
Oh, the camera to follow. Okay.
camera.
Because you're like, it's red, I think, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, ZVZ is an interesting matchup on this map. This is one of the few times where, you know, it's kind of, I feel, almost got the Whirlwind / Ultra Z mentality to it, where you're like, oh, this is a big map. It's got free bases. We're going to see, like, you know, a macro game, Roach versus Roach, 20 minutes, no rush. But I kind of feel like every time we see those maps, especially Deadwing, those are the maps we see Speedlings come in. That's the map we see Banelings. That's when we see that early game aggression.
I do wonder who's going to be the first person to go ahead and do that. I always talk, and I'm in favor of doing something really aggressive first off, but we actually have them both go for hatcheries first, too.
Well, the thing I was going to get into is Hendralisk, by the way, very comfortable playing with Mutalisks. In fact, it was able to out-Mutalisk even Scarlet when it came to WCS last season. So his ZVZ is top-notch when he's on form, but that's the thing about Hendralisk coming into this. I mean, we'll talk about Jonsnow in a moment, sure, but Hendralisk is a guy who usually studies his opponents pretty hardcore, and that's how he beats them. All jokes aside from what I was talking about before we got into the game, one of the things he had mentioned pre-lobby was he didn't really look into Jonsnow. He's been busy with school. He hasn't gotten a lot of time to play in practice, and I really feel like that's going to detriment him here in a best of 5, no less, versus someone like Jonsnow, who plays very actively every day.
Yeah. I guess you're going to have to really see. I still feel very good for Hendralisk, but I also felt really good for Desro, and look what happened there. Whoops. Anyways, we do have a gas opener, it appears, for Jonsnow. Hendralisk already throws on his gas, so he may be looking to be aggressive, but Jonsnow... The gasless opener is actually very good against aggressive builds, so... the best thing Hendralisk could do off of this is take control of the map and get a faster third.
And that tends to actually be the case more often than not. So while it kind of sounds like we're like, oh, he could do this because he's got no, you know, whatever. That's actually what we see win a lot of these games, a lot of these matches.
Yeah, the faster third. Yeah. I think that's actually was the case. You know, I think it was.
Why don't you tell me?
Jonsnow versus Cats, I do believe. You know, there was a couple of games where, you know, Cats did his 13-13 and, you know, aggressive all the time, but there were a couple of games where someone, I think it was Jonsnow versus Cats, Jonsnow went for gasless, and Cats just like slapped him after like 5 minutes because he had such like a much faster third, a much better economy, and just had more roaches. And it was just like, you know, what was his plan? Because I mean, Namshar has talked about it before too, that like people just aren't going the same type of gas expand that they used to, which was just the very slow third double upgrades. It just doesn't really work out that much anymore.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. Builds have kind of countered builds, leading into new builds, and we had a really weird evolution of this game. But once in a while, we'll even see things go back to like super old school. But, oh, is this late? Okay, good. I was gonna say, if he lets that kill that drone, I was gonna be very upset. In the meantime, Hendralisk does also get a scout on his opponent. Scouts, no gases at the main. Does see them coming, at least one coming down here at the natural.
Okay, so Hendralisk doesn't go for a faster third off of this. He goes for a faster layer. And this is such a fast layer that it just has to be for Mutas. Or like a Nidus worm, but...
I want to say Mutas too, but like where are those extra gases, right? Like...
He still has like 30 seconds to throw them down, I think.
I suppose, but it's so often where you'll see that case of it being the difference of like 6 mutas versus 9 versus 12.
There you go. 3 more.
Alright, so it's probably gonna be mutas. So this lends into the fact that a map like Deadwing, it's big, it's crazy, it's enormous. More so than the fact that you can maneuver the Mutalisks around or anything with their speed, is gonna strip the Overlord vision away from your opponent. And on a map this big, you need that vision. It's not about having like, oh, you're nice and good off because you can see a lot. Like, it's actually completely necessary to see every move your opponent's making. So Hendrix isn't going to dive across the map, and I don't think he's going to jump to a mineral line. He's going to be cleaning up every Overlord he can first.
Yeah. Let's see what Jonsnow does with his upgrades. You know, we talked about how the standard double upgrade Roach slow third is not really what you should be doing anymore. And okay, so people have been going into the double upgrade for Lings and actually been the ones that are aggressive despite the opening looking like you're going to be very defensive.
Yeah, actually get off that scout.
He cancels it. Never mind.
2 gases, Bailing Nest, didn't see the Spire, hasn't seen the extra gases on the main. Don't know if he's going to be guessing it's mutas yet or not. But one of the things that's nice is when there are mutas in play, A, Spore Crawlers can defend really well, but B, you flood across the map with a lot of Lings, mutas gonna take forever to clean them all up.
Yeah. Oh, I hope this isn't Moshka or whatever it was last time. No, oh, it's me!
No, it's me!
It's both of us? It's everyone
How?
then.
What?
I'm getting a waiting for server surrender.
Yeah, me too, and it says surrender. What's going on here?
Maybe a little balance just crashed.
I don't want to press surrender, like, I don't want to be BM, like, holding the game up.
I know. Which one? Oh, decisions.
Okay, here, because I've got to stream. You hit surrender and see if everyone else got kicked, and if they did, then I'll hit surrender.
Fine.
Because in the worst case scenario, I could just screen share with you.
Oh, wow. Did it just crash StarCraft? No, I didn't.
What about the, I can't check.
No one else is in a game.
No one else is in it?
That's what I can tell you.
So should I just surrender? What about asking Copa Skype or something? What's going on? I'm gonna hit surrender. Guys, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Everyone got the drop screen. Got it.
Well, that's lovely. Just fantastic. Burrowing a spore crawler or spine crawler. Confirm crashes the game.
Oh, good.
Wow, dude, you crashed the game. Way to go. So, we're probably just gonna recover game. I mean, you can't really re-game something like that, but I'm a little bit worried, like, what if the replay's broken?
Yeah, it was super... That was odd.
Yeah, it happened. So I've been blaming Hendralisk, and he thought I was like actually blaming him. So it's like, no, dude, no. Everybody dropped. It's not just you. Oh, I forgot I'm mad at Hendralisk. I gotta stop being friendly with him. He ditched us in Toronto. I forgot about that. It's like a beef to pick with this guy.
I did forget about that.
But okay, so we're going to be recovering game. For those who don't know how the recovery game process works, the quick too long didn't read version of this is you host the replay from exactly the game you just left. It'll put the players back in their slots automatically, and you'll pick the point at which you resume the game, which is typically just right where everyone lagged out. Luckily, this isn't a scenario where there's like already an engagement going on or crazy lag at the worst opportune moment. They were just sitting there doing nothing. It was not that big of a deal. Called Hendralisk out. But okay, so for those who haven't seen the recovery game feature before, it's actually kind of cool. They put up a giant replay blocker so nobody can see anything. Players can't hit like D and look at production and look at build orders. It just fast forwards right to the point of disconnect. It's actually pretty neat. And this got this really cool countdown timer. Like 3, 2, and the game starts. You know what's really funny? I've got my XSplit position right now, so it cuts off the top half of your head for the webcam, just by coincidence. So I can only see your bottom lip and your chin, and it looks really weird. It's like an alien. Oh my god, when you open your mouth, it looks so funny. What's happening? I gotta move this.
She reminded me to... You gotta sit up.
Sorry guys, you probably heard the Bioshock song for a second there. That's my bad. Oops. Let me go back to Copa America. Pressing all the wrong buttons. Fantastic. There we go. So, here we are, back in game. Oh, wow, they didn't even, like, wait to ask if players are ready. They just went for it. Yowza! But anyways, as you guys saw, cool countdown. Nothing too crazy. Just starts off right where we left off. The only difference is the spine car wasn't burrowing yet. That'd be hilarious if that was actually what caused the crash, and it crashed again. But, you know, knock on wood. There we go, we're safe. So Jonsnow going for +1 for the roaches behind this. I mean, he's got a fair amount of lings, but really not going to be able to get too much use out of these. Hendralisk still didn't reveal his Mutalisks. Actually, in fact, none seem to be... no information for this still. Doesn't even see this third, does Jonsnow. So there's a couple banelings morphed in defensively here. These will be fantastic for fending off these lings. And those mutas will pop at a pretty nice time.
So what's really cool about Hendralisk did is that this, like, what Jonsnow is doing is very, it's like a common type of surprise that you're going to try and catch someone who scouted that you went gasless without a baneling nest and just attack and kill their third because they don't have any banelings and hopefully not a whole lot of lings. Just by the fact that, you know, Jonsnow scouted the baneling nest, yeah, he scouted the baneling nest and still went with his attack. It's just a little, like, weird. He must have been hoping that Hendralisk just simply would not have made banelings.
Yeah,
like,
maybe he thought it was going to be one of those defensive ones where there's only like 1 or 2, not like 6.
Yeah, so, you know, this is already, like, really great for Hendralisk and pretty bad for Jonsnow. I mean, Jonsnow...
Ooh,
his third isn't that far behind, and he has, you know, better tech right now.
Hold up, I really like the way he's going to use these mutas. So, there's always that golden rule in ZVZ. If your opponent doesn't also go mutas, you don't continue producing them. He's going to go up to about 9 and use that for map control and then reinvest into the roaches here afterwards. I like this choice a lot. Because also this will, should this have been more banelings, this would have covered him. The mutas would have sniped those off really nicely. They're going to kill all these overlords on the map. You see Jonsnow trying to pull them back. But Hendralisk is basically going to have all the vision in the world, and Jonsnow is going to be playing this game blind. And what's that saying? Like, in the land of the blind, the man with, like, one eye is king or something? Like, and it really applies to this situation in ZVZ, because if you don't know what angle Hendralisk is coming at you for the roaches, you can't pre-position yourself for that.
What I'm a little confused about... Okay, there's a Nidus Worm on the way, by the way. Nidus Worm from Hendralisk.
Okay.
What I was a little confused about for Jonsnow is that Jonsnow went so fast up the Hydralisk, it almost seemed like he was very afraid that there was going to be a big commitment into mutas.
Yes, I think that's definitely the case here, but sadly it's actually going to not work out so well because there will be those couple of banelings plus the roaches out behind this. And for Hendralisk, like, what is he planning? Is he going to in-base Nidus this?
It's looking like it. Of course, the mutas, he can actually get the dead space without an overload nearby, so that might just be his plan. The thing is that while Hydras sound good because technically they are like that good addition to a Roach army, that is after a maxed out Roach army and you start like trickling in Hydras. One of the biggest things to do wrong in ZVZ is to get the Hydras too fast, and the fact that you're not even going to like see the attack coming because the Nidus Worm is in there.
Yeah, it's so cheeky.
Worse.
He's trying to draw all the attention to the natural, to the main. Everything's pulled out of the main actually. So the Nidus Worm does come off without a hitch, and here's the problem for Hendralisk. Like, he doesn't have a lot of roaches, but 20 is still more than enough to get kills. Because Jonsnow is so Hydralisk heavy, he doesn't have a lot of his own roaches. In fact, that Baneling's connected to some of the Hydras exploding on the roaches. Hendralisk is going to break that roach line, and these Hydras are going to melt behind it. Bottom line, Chance Fuse is going off like nuts because he needs to, but the Hydras are just dwindling way too fast, and the roaches are just too good. I can't believe this works.
He's going to keep committing to this. There's 20 more roaches going to come through that Nidus. He's going to go and try and protect. There's 2 Niduses,
he put a second one?
Whoa.
What? Was that a bug? I don't understand. I didn't see him make the second one, but...
He may have made them immediately one after another.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't actually see it. I didn't hear it. I was like...
Well, here's though a big problem. Like, I guess those queens with their transducers were hella good. The drone pools are always going to be available. He wasted a lot of money into 2, now 3 Niduses.
I kind of feel like he got a lot of kills for this, though. I mean, the drones were only 9, but killing all the Hydras was pretty nice. But yeah, at this
Well,
point,
now-
Jonsnow's recovered really well with his own roaches, up to 23 of his own, plus a spine crawler here
Yeah,
for defense.
Jonsnow isn't making this mistake to go like more into hydras either. Like he's just gonna like max out or try and get as many roaches as possible because that's really all you need. Like getting hydras eventually is certainly a good addition, but you don't need them quite yet. He does also have the upgrades. He had an upgrade during that fight. It was 1 versus just 1. Now he has 2-2 versus just 1. So
soon to be 2, but I think the roach counts really seals the deal here. For Hendralisk, that had to have been a killing blow, and I really think he could have dedicated more than retreating as quickly as he did. But with the queens here especially, there's just no way to take this fight.
yeah,
He did
It's
try,
like
it's worth
Jon
noting,
Snow-
try to sneak another Nidus in, but he saw that roach patrolling. So nice move out of
Yeah.
Jonsnow.
Jonsnow coming out here. I mean, he hasn't quite won the game yet. The roach counts are still 27 to 29. Yeah, they're pretty darn similar. The queens that were helping out Jonsnow army are not going to be able to come across the map. They're trying to, but they're going to take a long time. Ugh, that spine crawler exploded.
I'm trying to watch the delay on the stream, by the way, to see if a second Nidus worm actually comes up right away. Like, that's just so weird to look at, the positioning of it.
Yeah, Hendralisk still has a very good shot in this game, despite a failed Nidus. I mean, that's he is down by 7 workers. He's going to
Oh,
be
he
down
does.
in tech.
Yeah, he does build a second one right away, sorry.
Okay.
Had to do
And
that
he
for
is-
science.
He's going to go into the Roach Baneling style without, I believe, Baneling speed, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, you want to be able to connect to the Hydras, wherever. There's really not that many.
But so here's the thing, the top of the ramp, like, in his favor, he's gonna get these Banelings through. It doesn't matter if they go off on the Roaches, it's better if they go off on the Hydras, but as we see, that explosive AoE just gives so much extra to this fight. And Hendralisk, well, got more Banelings coming from behind. Can these make the fights? Roach numbers are dwindling from both sides, but Hendralisk barely doesn't have enough. That concave a little too good, and these queens actually adding a lot to the fight. GG. Alright. Jonsnow takes game number 1. Huzzah!
Yay.
That was a pretty cool opening out of Hendralisk, though. I mean, I actually really like that, like a lot. But we'll see if he keeps up the antics or if he goes for more of like standardized stuff moving into the next set of games. Because I mean, you brought up before, Jonsnow last season was 3-0'd by Cats, and the thing is, Cats, well, he's certainly known for playing weird. One of the things he plays really well is just he's good at controlling thirds, making sure your opponent doesn't have one while he gets his own, and I mean, that's what gives him so much of an edge in ZVZ. If Hendralisk can adopt that style, maybe that's what he does to shut down Jonsnow, but again, it's hard to call after one game, and it was a weird game at that.
Yeah, the Nidus form just seemed kind of unnecessary. Like, controlling the map with the bigger Roach army seemed like it was better, although obviously would not have ended the game as fast.
He was going for the cool points.
I guess so. Or the... Yeah, I don't know. Just catching your opponent droning, but they were already at a drone count where they could stop 66 and 61.
Yeah. Well, we're getting into the lobby here, guys. Who are we missing here? Zombie Grub, a couple of the other casters as they get in here. Foxtrot Labs will be the choice. Bit of an odd map, but nothing too crazy here. Spawn locations will definitely influence builds here, I feel. Especially with that gaping entrance in the top left, bottom right.
Oh yeah, they should just attack each other with mass speedlings and get over with. So they're gonna do anyways.
Well, just getting the colors up here, and we'll be ready to go as soon as I guess the other streams are ready. We, of course, are always ready to go. And a small shout out to Jim Rising, by the way, still being active on Twitter. Did retweet us earlier. He's been favoriting some stuff too. So might be out in fourth place, but good spirited guy. This Copa America, are these gold players? Well, their borders are certainly gold. Look at this, guys. Yeah, that's Greenogen. You'd think like they could get better than Gold League, right? But jeez Louise. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Go, 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 go. There we go. Awesome. Man, I can't wait for the Elite League tomorrow, by the way. Did you see all the signups?
Yo,
oh my
I did.
God. Like, Fantasy's cool and all, and I got pretty hyped, but like the amount of other good signups is like, whoa.
Nah, I'm still hyped the most about fantasy. I'm actually really hyped about all these Terrans. Look at the Terrans!
I could just be like a real jerk and be like, we're gonna cast like no fantasy games.
Can you not?
That's when you like just like, you know what, I'll go solo cast on my own channel. Like,
yeah, I'll be right back after fantasy, you know, gets knocked out or wins, whatever one.
Well, welcome back to Copa America. This is the second semifinals for Season 3. Guys, we've been through almost a whole year of Copa America at this point. Can you believe that? 3 seasons deep and another one's yet to come with the finals. I guess it's not really technically another season, but still the final season, so to speak. I want to thank you all who've joined us for this great adventure so far. While we're not at the finals, and this kind of sounds like a goodbye speech, it's meant a lot to have you guys join us. We've had a lot of dedicated fans, a lot of Base Trade TV people join us on this wondrous adventure. And make sure you guys keep watching, because there's still some more good Copa ahead of us. But spawning here in the bottom left, leading 1-0 in this series, it's going to be the Red Zerg player, Jonsnow, playing for Solaris Gaming.
Never right as the Blue Zerg, its complexities, Hendralisk.
So he mentioned he was working a little bit on school. I really don't feel like that really took away from that game. That was just one of those things where I don't think he was expecting Hydralisks in that quantity. Perhaps was hoping on more roaches to bust through. He did mention between games that he's kind of like, wow, who goes Hydras like that? And Jonsnow does, and it wins him a game, so what do you know?
Yeah. It was, I mean, obviously surprising. It really did seem like Jonsnow thought that there was going to be a bigger commitment into Mutalisk, because it is a common mistake that you go too fast in a Hydras. In like a Roach versus Roach war, if you're going to just max out your Roaches and you try and get Hydras too fast, you actually die in that situation.
Well,
but I guess it was...
Well, one of the other things, too, is like he never overinvested in Spore Crawlers. I was kind of waiting for that to come down, right? Like, can you imagine if Jonsnow had wasted like a good 500 minerals building Spore Crawlers all over the place?
Well, that would have been severe overreaction.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
2 per base
true.
is not really that of an overreaction. Like, one in the mineral line and one outside.
If you're gonna get Hydras as well, yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. But I mean, like, that's the thing. There's a lot of things that Jonsnow did right, and that's one of them by not going for that panic. Like, oh my god, I need Spore Crawlers. It's the only answer.
Yeah, I guess so. And the Queens really did a lot of work too. I think he got a few more Queens to help out against what he thought were going to be the Mutas, and they had a lot of transfuses, so...
That's actually... That worked out really well when those Hydras, because they've got no health. Those were getting transfused like mad when that fight went on.
Yeah, yeah. It was a very delicate balance, though, and certainly it's not something we see often, so we can't be like, well, exactly, if he did this differently. Because, well, we just don't see, like, mid-game Meta Swarms. Maybe an early-game Meta Swarm, but... Even then, in ZVZ, not often. Not anymore. It used to be a kind of a common, actually. Like, I'd actually go far as to say common response to a Muta players. So it was to go for the Nidus Queen Roach bust. And that was pretty obnoxious. But we do have both players going for gas this game. I did joke about how they should just go ahead and all in each other with Speedlings and get it over with because it's Foxtrot. Might still be the case.
Yeah, it definitely would have been more attractive had it been the other spawn locations, but I mean, there's a lot of dead space here in the natural. There's extra rocks you can knock down. It's really hard to just get that one solid defense against this, but ooh, gets wrecked here with the Link fight.
You have to wait another like 30 seconds to see if it is going to be a Ling all-in from Jonsnow as well, but Hendralisk already piling on those Lings, 16 on the way. No Baneling Nest yet, that should follow up.
This is like a good, I'd say a good whole larva rotation ahead of when you would normally see this come down. I mean, normally it's like, it's at 5 minutes, that's the larva inject that starts making these, or the 5:30 mark, that's the larva inject that starts making those, but looking to catch these with the drones, I love this move. So those weren't idle AFK on the ramp, guys. He was trying to make sure these did not get up here to see the extra Lings. Like, if you see 4 Lings in the early game, it's not that big of a tell. But he's going to see all these now with the Overlord, and flooding across the map here is going to be Hendralisk. Now, the Baneling Nest might not finish in time for this initial fight. He very well may lose his natural, if not controlled absolutely perfectly here. But ooh, I like this. Pulls everything back and just puts queens on the ramp, so minimizes the chance of damage happening.
Yeah, best thing you could do. Oh, it says me that Hendralisk, should he have wanted to, maybe would have tried to target it down, but let's go for the fight on the ramp. This really isn't going to work out, and
yeah,
he doesn't have his own Baneling Nest behind this either. This is dangerous.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things is the queens actually don't have the links in front of them, so they are taking quite a bit of damage. There's not really transfuses available, not yet at least, but Baneling's morphing right on the ramp. Hendralisk has got to be counted in the seconds right now.
He's just...
Oh, he squeezes by.
Yeah, with only a couple of lanes. I mean, this is going to take all of the queens, which is, you know, it's better than absolutely nothing at all, but is it worth it? Hendralisk not stopping, but Banelings are here for Jonsnow. They're not here for Hendralisk.
It might not be worth it right now, but do keep in mind, with no queens, that means no injects, which means he'll eventually fall behind in the Zergling count just in general. So the Banelings are going to have to get connected if they want to even out this game, because if it's Ling versus Ling from here to the end of the game, well, Hendralisk is going to win that game every single time. But ooh, the Baneling connect was so close to being crazy ravaging. Does still get a good connect nonetheless.
You're right. He has to be very stingy with these Baneling connects. He can't just go like, you know, I have this defense because I also have a Spawn Crawler and 3 queens, which is something that he would have loved to have. But even still, I mean, Jonsnow using the last of the Ling pops is you know, keeping toe-to-toe so far with Hendralisk. And Hendralisk looks to be giving up on this attack. He's starting to drone up behind this. But now, I mean, I guess because Jonsnow doesn't have any queens, the counterattack to Hendralisk isn't as scary. But
well,
Jonsnow still has Banelings.
Well, that's the thing. Hendralisk doesn't really have much at home. Like,
yeah,
he really doesn't have, like, anything at home. So, yeah, even if he squeezed out a couple drones, is that worth it type thing? He's got a pretty, actually, he's not even in the Harvester lead. What am I talking about here? 21-16,
no,
yikes.
No, yeah.
He's in a pretty bad spot.
The fact that he never got a follow-up Baneling Nest has always been really scary. But again, as long as he can take care of this first wave from Jonsnow, he'll probably be okay. Because again, Jonsnow does not have any queens for those additional larva injects. Well, can he hold on though? There's only 2 Banelings, but it's being controlled really well from Jonsnow.
Hendralisk is just in a lot of trouble right now. Does try to come back from behind with these Zerglings.
Now you throw down the Baneling Nest? I thought that was an intentional move to hold on the Baneling Nest as he did, but now it just seems like he was hoping to get lucky. You know, Jonsnow not to counterattack.
Wow, Jonsnow with a 2-0 lead now. Oh, this is scary for Hendralisk.
Maybe you should have told Hendralisk how he plays. I mean, come on,
Rifkin. I couldn't, even if I wanted to, because I would just be giving misinformation. I really don't. Like, we haven't cast Jonsnow in so long. Now, you ask me about European players, because we've been doing these crazy back-to-back European events. I got you.
Yo, I remember, I can't what it was for. I think it was like, you know, not 40 minutes before, but like a couple hours before. So I was like, yo, how does this guy play? And I was like, oh, I remember him. He plays like this. And and then he's like, okay, thanks. That's really helpful. And 30 minutes later, I'm like, uh-oh. That was the wrong player.
Don't trust casters for advice, guys. Don't trust casters for advice. What is this next map coming up? It's none other than Overgrowth, so a bit of a more standard map. Just getting everyone on here.
I'm always the last one invited.
Because you don't realize, Ian. Yo, so like, I really can't wait for that trophy to arrive. Man, I was supposed to get the Team Liquid thread up today too. Oh, so busy today.
I got to sleep in today. It was so great.
Oh yeah, so fantastic. I hate you.
Cried a little. What were you doing that you couldn't sleep in?
Did a rebroadcast this morning, then I was at the doctor's all day. Then I came home for Copa America after taking an hour nap. It's good times.
Rebroadcasting and going to the doctor took you the whole day? Well, I guess Copa America starts at 5 for you.
Look, Canadian healthcare may be free, but it's not fast, is the thing. You still go to the clinic and you still wait 3 hours like any other Joe Schmo. I was there from 10 till 1. I came home, had lunch, slept, woke up. It's like 3 p.m., so like 2 hours from Copa America. Had a wonderfully useless day. freaked out a little bit. My card got declined at the pharmacy. And I thought, I was like, oh, wow, did someone like rob my bank account? Like, I don't have a lot of money in there. Who's gonna steal like, you know, $100, right?
I thought it was free.
For the checkup, not for the drugs, man. The pills that smell like cat piss still cost me an arm and a leg. But yeah, it turns out like the ATM thing was down, or not the ATM. What do you call it? The debit checkout, whatever. Anyways, I freaked out pretty bad because I'm like, oh god, come on, like, I'm already dirt poor, man. Who's gonna rob? Who robs a poor guy, right? Like,
poorer guys.
yeah, it's gonna be like this. Is gotta be like an ethical code, honor among thieves, and all that, right?
No.
Anyways, no, it wasn't Rob's. That doesn't matter. Anyways, we are back in action. Game number 3. This could actually close everything out. Hendralisk has been struggling with Jonsnow. North American player versus North American player. American versus Canadian. We'll see which of these two can lock it down. But currently leading 2-0 and spawning in the bottom left corner of the map for the Copa America Season 3 semifinals. It's the Red Zerg player from Solaris Gaming, Jonsnow.
Neighbor right as the blue Zerg. Its complexity is Hendralisk.
So I know a lot of players in StarCraft in general are kind of bland. Like, you don't have a lot of people who are willing to be like dicks or the personalities or the funny guys. But I kind of wish Jonsnow would get like a catchphrase where like he wins like a series and at the end of it, instead of typing GG, he's just like "no problem."
Oh, because his name is Jonsnow. Yeah, he's not really that type of guy, I think.
No, I've talked to him once or twice. He's a pretty stoic dude. But I'm just saying, like, in general, like, why are there no catchphrases? Like, I would love if I don't know, Party just started typing "choo choo" every time he won, even if it had nothing to do with Centuries or Immortals, right? Like,
I think honestly he will.
Yeah, maybe he's not like confined by like the strict rules of like,
you know, in whatever next tournament he's doing, he'll probably do it.
Well, for this series, we had a weird game, we had a more normal game, but Hendralisk has been going pretty all in twice now. I can't help but wonder if like he's just like Zerg all-ins are a lot different than other matchups. Like, if you see someone just all in after all in, you're like, what a noob, right? But there are some actual nuances to doing all in ZVZ because it is a mirror matchup, so it's not the easiest thing in the world to pull off. But that game, man, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch him not put on a bailing nest.
Yes, I think
that was the biggest thing. Because like, if you make those amount of lings and you see that they have a wall, okay, you try and break it, which he did, and maybe you kind of do, but you're kind of banking on them really messing up in order to get like that 10 to 20 amount of lings you want inside their bases. Like, he got like 6, you know, which isn't that scary. So the other option, of course, is to just take a little more time, throw in the bailing nest, and try him out in the micro war. Which just, you know, seemed like Hendralisk was really hoping for a really big mess up or just, you know, complete surprise. Like, he wanted to end the game really early. He didn't even want to try and go to the mid or late game. Which is odd, you know, you think he'd be confident coming in here. But, you know, he's been studying a lot and stuff, so maybe he wasn't really that confident.
Call it excuses. No,
yeah.
all seriousness, the teasing aside, Hendralisk he's one of those players that we've seen in the past too. He gets on tilt pretty easy if he's down 2-0 like this. I shouldn't say on tilt because that makes you think mad, but it's more like he beats himself up over like silly things and losses that shouldn't have been.
Oh, I always imagine tilt to be like depressed. Maybe because that's what I do when I'm on tilt.
Really? Because whenever I heard tilt, I've always thought it meant like, you know, F this, flip a table. Like, I'm on tilt.
No, whenever someone said that Idra was on tilt after he raged, it was because they were trying to make it seem like he wasn't raging, right? Like they were like using the PC word for raging.
No, actually.
Oh,
okay,
Idra's just a little bit on tilt.
Here's my better description. Like, when I think on tilt, I'm thinking of that guy who's like silently in the corner, eye twitching, like. Not like super angry, but then like it leads to the anger.
His brain is tilting this way and that. He's gonna cray cray.
He's trying to play pinball, but it's on tilt.
Wait, pinball is always on tilt.
Man, that was actually the worst. Do you ever play that like that Space Cadets like pinball simulator for like Windows 2000 or whatever that was?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I was making a joke because the actual pinball machine is tilted. But...
Well, no, I would always mash the buttons on that game because I never really understood how it worked. Because back then I'm just an idiot who doesn't have computers, right?
Oh, playing solitaire on the computer. No idea how to play it even now. I mean, I just like, okay, the computer's not letting me do anything, so I guess I'm just gonna give up here.
Yeah, you just try and push all the things. Or you'll like go for the hint and you're like, I don't understand why this works, but okay.
Right? Exactly.
Hearts was another game like that too. I never understood that.
I finally started to understand Hearts, but my favorite card to play is Egyptian Rat Screw, which is the slapping game. It's a slapping game. It's where I actually remember bringing this up in Toronto, and you were like, I don't know what that is. So pretty much like whenever you just like send like cards out, and if you get the same like a double card, you have to like the person to slap their hand down on it, like gets the whole deck. So you just have people like slapping each other's hands and getting like really hurt.
Like, first off, I was kind of hoping you're talking about slapping someone like right across the face, but that's
the hardcore version.
Well, that all talk aside, we saw Jonsnow. He actually just canceled the spine guard he was throwing down there, so I don't know if he thought he was in the clear here from Hendralisk. He could technically just put a wall down, and the queens do create a temporary wall, I suppose, with transfuses. But Hendralisk is going ham with this. I mean, Baneling Nest is coming down behind. He's already got a third base up.
Yeah, he saw the third base. That's part of why he canceled it. Which is a pretty cool mind trick. A little bit of a mind trick here from Hendralisk. And he also is going for those Banelings. He's droning up completely behind this, though. So, like, what is he really trying to do here?
That trick's dead.
Is he... he's not going to be able to bust this.
No, not with this many transfuses. Not unless Jonsnow messes up really badly. Jonsnow does have a lot of links behind this. Someone Baneling Nest up here in a moment.
Jonsnow is the one who's trying to be a trickster now. He's trying to go for double upgraded Lings, which is what I thought he was going to do in that first game. But now going for it here, he's going to be able to bust out with a lot of Lings and Banelings and hopefully kill Hendralisk. But Hendralisk has been very mindful about getting the Baneling Nest to defend against something like this. So I don't think Jonsnow's going to be able to get a third or get Hendralisk third, and his own third's going to be so much later.
This is going to be a a lot of Zerglings just went down there. One of the problems here, though, for Hendralisk is with that Carapace upgrade being up for both players, he's actually not going to be able to one-shot his opponent's Lings. So it's not going to be that free hit that like, oh, I instant win the game. You know, it's going to actually take a little bit more than just like one lucky shot.
Yeah, well, Jonsnow's the one that's banking on that, right? Because he needs to kill the third.
Yeah, well, accidental Bailey detonation was actually pretty good. So those moments where Hendralisk wasn't looking and neither was Jonsnow.
Jonsnow is like really far behind now, and in fact, if he has to cancel this third, he's super far behind.
Yeah, even if you get those upgrades, it's not going to matter if you don't have the money to pump units, but should be able to save this, I imagine. I mean, Hendralisk doesn't have that many Lings here. Yeah, okay. Clean this up.
Well, that's pretty important. It's still very much farther behind than Hendralisk, and in fact, Hendralisk now with a 10 drone lead.
Well, drone lead aside, he is also getting that little leg up here on the Roaches. Speed starts up here pretty quick, and well, this isn't going to be the biggest deal right away, because 1-1 Lings are actually going to be really good at chewing through small amounts of Roaches. If he can get that number up high enough, he'll overtake his opponent pretty quick, but there's that Baneling hit I was talking about. Not quite enough, but that's a lot more Banelings coming in. Hendralisk has got to split every which way. Drones, please, no!
That was pretty good splitting, though. I mean, it takes on the spine color, it takes down a lot of the Lings, all the Roaches are alive, the Queen is alive.
That last second transfuse was so good out of Hendralisk, too. That soaked in another hit from those Banelings, but now he's going for the counterattack, and his supply count is pretty high compared to that of Jonsnow's.
I mean, I like that Jonsnow tried to go for that last-ditch all-in, but now he is in almost an uncoverable position. Hendralisk with Roaches and Banelings is going to win out against Jonsnow's Lings. Just Lings.
Again, the Banelings can't get the one shot on the Lings. So frustrating as the player with those Banelings, but they still get them low enough that everything gets one shots. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like these Banelings are worthless. They're just not the miracle workers that they usually are. And Hendralisk still with a pretty hefty supply lead right now. Should be able to take down this third. And I mean, this is kind of the bare minimum of what's required to win the game at this point. Like, if this third goes down, that's like the hopes and dreams of Jonsnow falling out of this game.
Yeah. Well, Jonsnow has a couple of Roaches coming up here that might just be able to save this third. Now he lost, he lost a lot of his army. He wasn't able to drone, so Hendralisk still has that 11 drone lead. And his upgrades, they should have been better, but he went for that +1 melee, which is not helpful right now.
No, definitely not. Hendralisk just streaming across the map with units too, intercepting the reinforcements. He's actually playing incredibly bad, I'd say, with his positioning here, but he's just got so much that it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the ways that Jonsnow was probably going to get back into this if Hendralisk kept on splitting up his army like he was. Maybe he takes good engagements all around. He's holding on longer than we thought he would.
Just fall back. I don't know why he's continuing to dedicate with us at all. There we go.
Yeah, so like he sees the third is up, but he also the third was also not droning, so he knows he's in a lead.
Yeah. It was a little bit scary. Like, I kind of was worried he would keep flooding across the map. He would just keep rallying. It's one of those situations where, like, you know, bro, you've basically won the game. Just don't throw it at this point. But he's gonna +1 weapons over Jonsnow. Or actually, no, I take that back. So Jonsnow is gonna +1 weapons over Hendralisk. But again, +1 weapons aren't so great if you've only got like 6 roaches to apply it to. It's 21 to 16, and Hendralisk is on the defense here.
They both do have roach speed, so Jonsnow will be able to, you know, leave, although he's taking some pot shots from the lings.
Yeah, the lings are actually laying into these roaches way more than I thought they would.
Looks like Hendralisk. Oh, he tried. Hendralisk is gonna go ahead and just max, you know, well,
Queen?
get as far as he can with as many roaches as possible. Well, she really wanted that Overlord.
Yeah, I guess. Free kill. Unit count is just so out of control right now. 32 roaches versus 22. Hendralisk actually sneaks some Zerglings into the main, which is going to distract. But these roaches are like, oh, come kite us, come kite us. And Hendralisk is like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll just kill your third if you run away from me.
Jonsnow is going to lose this game, but that only puts them at a 2-1 in a best of 5. That's still a lot of chances to get that final game.
I mean, ZVZ's not exactly coin flippy like some other matchups can be, but yeah, chances are there, but it's... Oh, if Hendralisk can play another game like the one he's played here, he's looking pretty good to possibly make that comeback. I mean, this is the Hendralisk I was hoping to see. You know, it takes that third, controls the game with the roaches. There wasn't really a lot of cheese in this one. GG, well played. Man, you guys who are StarCraft fans are so lucky. I'm just looking at the Team Liquid calendar. You got us for Copa America. Maybe go take a nap, come back in 6 hours, GSL, then the Olima League. Man, okay, so there's 3 hours between GSL and the best of 7 to the Olima League. I think we should be okay, right? But I mean, there's probably gonna be downtime between games. They gotta run ads and stuff.
Yeah, they start like 30 minutes late almost always. The ads, depending on how long the games go. I mean, if Innovation 4-0s, then not a big deal. But if he 3-0s, then gets reverse swept, well, we're gonna be.
Well, he needs to get 4-0'd because we love Snoot.
We need some Snoot. There's just so many really great players that we're cheering against because of Snoot and Jaedong.
Like, you guys don't understand. Zombie and I have like the biggest Snoot crush. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm cheering against Innovation, which is just so. It doesn't even make sense anymore because it's on SKT too.
I know, this is like everything like that you stand for. You're just like, no.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult for me, guys. But there's also Scarlet, Heart. Like, Scarlet has won so many championships, like, big deal if you don't win another one, right? But Heart has not, and he's, like, on fire finally, and we have to cheer against him in WCS. Like, damn it.
Well, looks like we're taking some time to get this lobby up, guys. So we're going to hit a small break screen, and we'll see you... Oh, nope, never mind. There we go. So wait, that was going to take a long time, because there's been some seriously long times between games at points here and there throughout Copa, but... Alright, Catalina, map number 4. I want to message him just like, yo, dude, just YOLO the Nidus. Do it. Life did it. You can do it. But then he'll lose and it'll be all my fault, so I can't. No, don't do it. Okay, well, everyone's getting on in here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful night. Good to see so many familiar names in chat. Big shout out to people like Zella Sam, Bob Convolute, Sawdust Dub, and many of the others that we have as regulars on Base Trade TV. Love that you guys come to support us over here. CFG Squared also lurking in chat. Girl, you better enjoy yourself some GSL Finals tonight. WTF. I'm so jelly you get to be there live for it. I'll be going over the VODs. I'll be looking for those cheerfuls. Because unlike Zombie Garb, it's not a question of like maybe I'll sleep or not. Like, I definitely have to sleep if I want to wake up for the Olima League. Alright. Looks like we got the last couple casters getting in here. That's the nice thing about Copa America. Like, I mean, you look at Team Liquid right now, what do we got here? Like, it's probably like 1,000. Yeah, it's about 1,000. We got 1,500, 1,600 people. Like, you gotta consider, this actually gets surprisingly good viewership. It's just split across 3 streams, which is kind of interesting considering how low-key a lot of the players are leading into the finals, leading into the round of 8, leading into the group stages and whatnot. But guys, we're gonna hop into Catalina. So I'm getting her hair done, dude. See you guys in a sec.
I can still hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, my headset's
Well, it's not like I said anything wrong or bad. It's
I know.
Watching you play with your hair. Gotta get that scrunchie off your wrist and, you know, do the ponytail like girls do.
Like magic.
Right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? This looks confusing. I'm gonna swap this around. I'll take that extra effort to make this 1-2 instead of 2-1 because I loves yous. Type 1 in chat if you're silly. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the semifinals for Copa America Season 3. The winner of this goes on to fight against Huck in the grand finals. But still gotta get there. Spawning here on the bottom, well, more like middle central portion on the left side of the map. Give it up for complexities. A blue Zerg player, Hendralisk.
In the upper rightish corner of the map, it is the red Zerg, Solaris Gaming's Jonsnow.
And we're Polar Knight. It's the map that taught me about the issues when it comes to introductions. It's the one that made it okay to be like in the top-ish side of the map. But yeah, Catalina's got some very interesting spawn locations here, being the 3-player spawn map that it is. But Hendralisk, that game, like I'm probably making a bigger deal out of this than for most, but that game was what I wanted to see out of Hendralisk from like moment 1 of this series. Like the cheese was interesting. It's kind of cool to see him go for that risk on Deadwing, but all in all, when it comes to like just standard Roach play, like he handled that really well, and that's kind of what I expect out of him.
Yeah. Well, he handled what was supposed to be kind of a surprise from Jonsnow really well. You know, you see, if you assume they're going to go for something that's perfectly standard, but also just, you know, obsolete at this point, just like it's well known that's not going to be the best way to play. The double upgraded Roaches and the slow third, you aren't going to be expecting them to come out with double upgraded Lings and attack on your own third, and that's why it can be a very good surprising build, but you know, obviously he didn't fall for that at all. He had the Bailey Nest, just as he had the Bailey Nest in the first game as well.
So this is kind of cool. Desert coming to chat to update us with the points. For those who don't know, Desert was actually the one who took the time. Like, it wasn't the Copa admins or the Copa staff. It was actually Desert who took the time to do point totals for each of the players involved with Copa America. Even though I think the Wikipedia might be out of date, or at least not up to date. Desert's the one who did throw that together, and he's reporting in chat that he actually is currently going to be top 8. Pretty much no matter what. He says, of course I'm in the running. I need Hendralisk to lose for seed 7. If Hendralisk wins, then he gets seed 8. And for Hendralisk, I believe the match relies on the fact that this match he has to win to even get to Peru. I'm actually not sure. That's what he said. But again, without actual official Copa updates on like the Copa website, there's no way to know 100% for sure. These are all just estimations based on records of wins and losses. So big shout out to Desert for throwing all that together. But we said actually, a pretty alright opening here. Nothing too crazy out of him yet.
Yeah, both players aren't doing anything too crazy. I mean, he's not going for gasless, so that's that, right? But we actually know the dates for the finals. Do you remember them? They're in November, I believe, 12 and 13. No, 12 and 13, right? Because it was really odd that it was on weekdays. That's what I remember, anyways, right? So it is the week after BlizzCon, though. So keep around that time open if you guys want to catch the Copa America finals.
Yeah, it's cool because they're going to be doing it offline. Players will be going out to Peru to play it out over there. So it'll be a pretty nice vacation for some.
Yep, it's true. We do have Jonsnow throwing down the Bailey Nest kind of early. I mean, this could be precautionary if you really thought the Hendralisk was going to be like really aggressive. Or he could just be doing his own all-in. Ooh, either one.
Ooh.
Oh, no one's here. Yeah. Hendralisk down with the Spine Crawler. You know, that usually to get down a Spine Crawler, it pretty much says I'm going to try and be defensive here.
Well, I can't blame him on a map like Catalina. This isn't exactly the funnest map to try and take a third on quickly. So it's kind of, it makes sense he's not playing the greed side of it at least. Over defense with the Spine Crawler, maybe, but we'll see. He can and might still cancel that, just kind of like what we saw to Jonsnow last game.
If he could get a good scout, maybe, but without a really great scout, it's always a risk. And it is hard to get a scout after both players have Link speed. I guess the best scout he could get is just like there's only 4 Lings coming across the map and not 12, but he lets it finish anyways. So he gets his own Baneling Nest, which is a little surprising because, I mean, I feel like if they're not doing the all-in at this point, they're not going to be using it, but...
I mean, he's still going to move the Spineclaw back to seal it off, but I've never seen anyone try and go for this sort of block. It's really weird.
Yeah. I guess Hendra's just getting the Baneling Nest in case, you know, he really wants to be able to protect his third, although both players are... Oh, he canceled the Roachborn too.
Okay, yeah, what's going on?
Oh, he's going to go for an all-in? Really? But Jonsnow's already going up to roaches.
I mean, it could be that logic that you catch him when there's a small amount of roaches in play. I mean,
yeah, for sure. I think he was really trying to fake Jonsnow out here by having those buildings right there. But Jonsnow just saw that they were canceled, didn't he?
Let me check his vision here. Yeah, I did see the cancel.
Yeah. So he's not going to be like, you know, caught droning. He might even, you know, get as many roaches as he needs as opposed to just 2 or 3. This is a risk from Hendralisk. It's certainly an interesting one, though. And I mean, now Jonsnow knows for sure. His Overlords see a lot of lings, and they're kind of oddly timed, but they're here. So what do you got?
Well, you know, one of the things... Okay, I was going to say, he could just wall this off if he realizes it's coming, but actually delays that by just walking right by everything. He's got to reset that wall if he wants to go in, but Hendralisk really doesn't have a lot for this. In fact, he cancels about half of his Banelings, realizing, like, that's not going to be what wins in the game.
Jonsnow doesn't even bother with the wall up anymore. He's like, well, my roaches are out here, so I think I'm going to be all right. It's still a little dangerous. It's just the amount of lings here.
He walks right past. He's going to go for the drones. I like this choice. Splits immediately, though, so Jonsnow not going to take too much damage from this.
Good splits. Really good splits. So far, only 2 drones.
Well, the lings are shooting through the roaches, but here come the reinforcements. Oh, my God. 11 drones go down here. Now, is that devastating? Well, it hurts a lot. Hendralisk is now up by 15 workers, but Hendralisk doesn't have... He doesn't have his own roaches behind this, right? Like, he's getting that roach warren up.
Jonsnow, yeah. He has to go for that all in. Like, that's a perfectly good point. He has to go for that attack right now. He's getting nothing but roaches, his +1 and his roach predicted about to finish, so it's a perfect opportunity to do so. Go. Go.
Maybe he's worried there's a follow-up, like more lings on the way. But then again, he's got Overlords to scout this, so it shouldn't be that much of a question mark.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that his opponent doesn't have a third either, but it's not about the third. He's got to figure that he's, like, you know, droning up behind this hardcore.
Tries to sneak in with some more lanes to go finish off those weak drones. He's putting those spine cars down home, but I think, like, 4 is not going to cut it. He needs, like, closer to 5 in total, at least, bare minimum.
Oh, and he's spreading them out because I think he's afraid of Banelings, but that's just going to not...
I think he's more afraid of the roaches just walking past them.
But now they can take only on 2 spine crawlers at a time. Well, either way, he's going to take on these 2 spine crawlers.
Drones are this are going to feel unnecessarily, but, I mean, they're helping. Is it going to be enough?
He needs an amount of time to get his own roaches out. His roach run did finish. He's also going up to Aspire, oddly enough.
It's just going to be so late if anything. So many drones go down in this. And the thing is, like, he had this drone lead, and now he's down again by 6. Not the craziest thing in the world, but maybe he'll just barely hold this. The problem is, though, look at his bank. He can't make Beetleist when they spawn. I think Jonsnow actually has won this game.
I think he has, which means that he's won the series 3-1.
Wow, this really sucks for Hendralisk. I don't know how this directly affects his chances to go to Peru or not, but this will send Jonsnow to the finals of Season 3, where he'll fight against Huck on Sunday in one last Grand Finals match. Now, Hendralisk, not out of Copa America just yet. He does have that 3rd, 4th place match to play against Jim Rising, so another ZVZ awaits him over there.